if you fix pastel, the liquid in that spray soaks into the pastel, and the pastel then glues to the layer underneath it. And it can make the pastel a little bit transparent. What happens is you can dull your paintings down if you spray pastel paintings. I recommend that you do a test, and I did this really early in my art career when I first started painting with pastel. I tested it with, I had 2 paintings. I did a still life of a bowl of peaches. They were beautiful fuzzy peaches, and then shiny dark plums in this lovely bowl. And I did a painting of that in pastel on an orangey background, because you can get the gritty pastel card that's got a beautiful colour background, and then you put your pastel colour on top of that colour. And so I did one on a warm background, which is orange, and I did the same scene on a navy blue background. And when I looked at both the paintings, because my experiment for myself was, how much of a difference does it make using a warm undercolour versus a cool undercolour? And it made an enormous difference, like huge difference. One looked like a real icy cold sort of painting. The other one looked like this. The peaches were just like full of warmth, and they were glowing. They were just like glowing like a real beautiful warm orangey peach would. And so the difference between the 2 paintings was amazing. And so then I went to myself, okay, I like these. I'm going to fix them. So I went shh, shh, shh. And oh my God, it dulled them down so badly. The colour of the pastel soaked through and it grabbed the background colour underneath. And so especially the navy blue one was so dull after I did it. It was horrible. It was really horrible. With this one here, I'm going to have to be really careful. Most of the time with pastel paintings, I just refuse to fix them at all. Now, after that experience, I know that all the brightness and the crisp, bright white in this and the beautiful bright yellow eyes and stuff, it's very clear and crisp, and it stands out from this background. If I spray it enough that it's actually going to fix it so that it stays there, by the time you've done that, it's glued into this coloured background. You'll start to see these colours from the background coming through the white and coming through the yellow. Be really careful. Like, do an experiment for yourself. Just draw a little pastel painting on a dark background or something that doesn't matter too much, and have a go. Fix it, thoroughly fix it until the pastel doesn't come off anymore, and have a look at the difference. You'll be amazed. So I don't fix my pastel paintings anymore. So this is a pastel painting on navy background. So this is one that we do. There's a lot of reflection there, sorry. That's a pastel painting on a navy blue. It's called Mitex, M-I-T-E-X card, which is designed for pastel because it grabs the colour. If I was to spray that with fixative, the reds would just dull right down because they'd sort of merge into this navy colour, and the bright whites would dull down because the navy blue would start to show into them. So I wouldn't touch that with fixative. So what I do is, once it's in a frame, a pastel painting or a charcoal artwork is safe. Nobody can hurt it because they can't get their hands on it and all that sort of stuff. So the biggest risk when you put it into a frame is that when somebody tilts the painting forward and gives it a bash. So if this painting is getting transported somewhere, when you're transporting this, let's say you take all your paintings to an exhibition and you're putting them in the car like this, and it's bumping around in the car, then there's enough vibration that this loose dust that hasn't been fixed starts to fall on the glass here. And then you hang it up on the wall, the dust drops down and it sits on, see the little beveled edge here on the mat? The dust comes down and it drops off the glass and on that edge there, because there's a little like V-shaped channel just along there. And so you get this awful ugly black line along here, which looks really bad when you've got a painting hanging in an exhibition or up on your wall or on at your friend's house or something. We do two things. The first thing is when we mount pastels, we put a second matte board flipped over with a bigger window cut, so that underneath here there's a second matte board that you can't see, that the window is cut just a bit bigger in underneath here. Imagine an invisible line in underneath here. So what you end up getting is this channel. Can you see, when I look really close here, can you see there's a bit of a shadow here? Because the matte board is not touching the artwork. There's another layer in between. So now there's this little space all the way around that any of the dust from here can drop down in behind the matte instead of in front of the matte. The second thing we do is we put a sticker on the back. These days we're doing it in bright yellow. It says, "Original Pastel, please take care. Avoid bumping the frame, especially while tilted forward, to avoid loose pastel falling on the glass." These paintings get exhibited in competitions and art displays and with external galleries and stuff. And so we want to tell people, don't tilt it forward and bang it, because then the dust will fall on the glass and then drop down into the front channel. The nugget of the information is that I don't ever fix my pastel paintings, because often they've got the bright colours in underneath. And I want it to stay exactly as I painted it, not all dulled down and smeared together. So I never fix my pastel paintings. I fix charcoal all the time, but not pastel, because I don't want the colours to be dulled. And the second thing is I double matte my pastel paintings and put a warning on the back.